Yo.
Hi.
How you doing?
Fabulous.
Really?
No. I'm tired. I'm hungry.
Me too.
I'm not hungry.
Wait. I was going to say you're hungry again?
No.
Wow, that's been a reoccurring theme.
Shut the fuck up.
Well,
I'm losing this weight though, ain't I?
yeah, you are. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of See You in Rome.
This is Yo.
And this is Rome, and this is episode number 70.
Wow. 7-0.
Yeah, we're coming to the end of season 6.
Yeah, you guys should expect some special things to come on season 7.
Yeah, we're already planning, so really looking forward to that. So first things first, Happy New Year.
Happy 2019.
I feel so late, but being that we record on a Sunday.
Correct.
And when was New Year's Day?
Last week
on
Tuesday.
Yeah, kind of weird. But anyway, Happy New Year. And if you want to get yourself some merch, head on over to afgoclothing.com.
Yeah, and we have a discount code for you guys. It's ZionRome15, gets you 15% off. Copy something. Take a picture of it. Tag us in it. Let us shout you out.
Also, best podcast of 2019.
2019 Undisputed.
Undisputed.
Still early in the game, though.
Yeah, if you want to dispute it, shoot us an email at sionrome@gmail.com.
You're.
Yo, so, I think I've made an executive decision.
What's that?
I don't know if I said this on the last episode or not, but I think I'm done talking about my dating life.
You did say that. Actually, you said that in the last 2 episodes.
I did?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm saying it to myself to
see if it actually happens.
And did I say in the last episode that I'm done? Yeah, because I uninstalled the dating apps.
You did.
Not so much I uninstalled dating apps, but I think I got the hoe phase out of my system.
That's out for judgment.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you guys next episode and let you know if that's the case.
I mean, I'm out here mixing and mingling, but I think the intention in my head is changing. I think I'm a little more open to receiving
What are we talking about?
relationships.
Oh, receiving. Got it.
No, I'm a little more open to receiving something more than just a fling.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying I want to jump into a relationship, but I'm open to like getting to know people on a deeper level.
I think that's you as a whole, though.
I think these past several months, I didn't care if anyone had anything to offer.
Okay.
I was entertaining some like bunch of nothing but penis.
I get it. You're right.
So I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see what
Stand
happens.
by.
Theo will
stay
be
tuned.
the police. What
I
about
tried to be the police for you on Friday night. It didn't go very well.
Friday night or Saturday night?
Friday night. You told me to take your phones away from you.
Oh, yeah.
You told me to take your iPad away from you. You told me to monitor all things.
Mm-hmm.
You asked for your phone within the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm glad that we did it anyway, because since I didn't have my phone in my hand, I had some time to think about how I wanted to approach a few things, and it actually worked out in my favor.
It did.
So, that said, make sure you lean on your strong friends.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to ask them for help. And be self-aware as to when you need an intervention.
Do you feel like that wasn't a mini intervention for you?
Yeah.
Wow, 20 minutes. That's all it took. Got it.
Self-inflicted. I learned pretty quick.
Noted.
Hey, so what's going on with you in your dating life?
Did you hear that? That's exactly what's going on in my dating life.
Nothing?
Nothing. I mean, I flirt here and there with some people.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm stuck in a weird space right now.
I know you probably weren't expecting me to ask you this,
Mm-hmm.
but you are completely comfortable and okay with flirtatiousness,
Yeah.
being single,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily in a space yet where you're like, I miss being with someone.
Yeah, no, I'm not there.
Yeah,
At
that's
all.
interesting.
And I'm so okay with not being there. Like, there's definitely some attention that I'm giving, but I just don't feel like I'm in the space where that attention giving needs to further itself to anything else.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. If it, you know what, it is what it is.
You're too cool for me, dog.
How so?
Like, You're just like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's definitely moments where I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's definitely moments where I feel like lonely, but not that bad lonely where I'm like, I need companionship.
Right.
But like lonely where I'm like, damn, it would be nice to just be able to like have someone right now. Like cuddle or like just spend time. Like just shit like that. But it's like for a quick second, I shake it off and I'm just like, whatever, man, I'm happy.
Speaking of, we were talking about Valentine's Day, and that's usually when people start getting in the feels about being lonely. But
Right.
you mentioned something about taking applications for Valentine's Day. It was kind of a joke at the time, but you actually got a few inquiries.
I did get a few inquiries, like, and it wasn't anything like, oh, I want to be your Valentine, but it was definitely like, oh, so this Valentine thing, huh? So you definitely taking applications, huh? I'm actually serious at this point now, since I really did get a few inquiries. I'm like, hey, listen, guys, girls, whatever you want to do, holla at the kid, man.
All right, maybe I need to put something together.
I like edible arrangements. I like flowers. I'll shoot you my work address. There's nothing like getting stuff at work and making other people jelly.
Do you want to like give them your Cash App name, or
Nah, I'm not. Nope.
are you worried someone's going to request money from you, or you just want no one sending you money?
I'm not that girl. I don't care about stuff like that.
Wow, I can't pay my bills with edible arrangements, so
But the thought is cute.
yeah, definitely.
And if you guys do want to send me some cash, just holla at me personally.
And then maybe I'll slide.
And
you
then
my
maybe I'll
Cash App.
slide you my Cash App.
Yeah, I respect that.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to come off as one of them instant
Thirst
thoughts
buckets.
with the Cash App.
Yeah, nah, it's not that type of party.
I respect that. So listen, let's jump into some topics.
Okay.
So I saw something, and man, I have a feeling we might have a difference of opinion on this one.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So the meme said, this is why you need to teach your kids Spanish. The narrative says, it's Christmas Eve and everyone is at my place. My grandpa is here, just sitting on the couch. This man doesn't speak English. His children barely speak Spanish. His grandchildren don't speak Spanish at all. Everyone around him is laughing and joking around, but he can't understand a single word of it. Why can't I read? That is the bigger problem.
I thought that was part of the story. I'm like, wait, she can't read or speak Spanish?
Talking about myself. Okay. The bottom line, I'm not even going to read the rest of this because clearly I'm having reading illiterate R.Kelly issues right now.
Whoa,
on the illiterate
too
tip.
soon,
On the illiterate tip.
Got it.
Okay. The bottom line is that grandpa can't speak English. The kids and the grandkids are like parlaying in English during the holidays, and she feels some type of way because she feels like her grandfather sacrificed so much so that everyone in this room could live the life that they're living here in the United States.
Meanwhile, he's not involved with any of the conversation that's happening in the room.
And she feels like this is the reason why it's important to teach our children Spanish. What do you think about that?
I agree. I think it is important to teach your children Spanish, and that's coming from a mom whose child barely speaks any Spanish. And I really am bothered by that, and I don't really know how to break it because he's already reached a certain age. I can have a full conversation with my child in Spanish and he will fully understand exactly what I'm saying and acts accordingly, but he refuses for some reason to answer me back in Spanish. I don't know if it's a complex within himself that he thinks he's going to sound funny. I don't know how to approach it differently, but I do agree. I feel like our children, if you are of another culture and your child has the capabilities to speak a different language, that benefits them as an adult as a whole anyways.
Right.
So if it also includes the family situation that you just spoke of, yeah, I think that's fair.
So in response to what you said in terms of not knowing how to create that shift, have you guys considered like exploring Duolingo? Because it's kind of fun. It's on an app. Maybe just challenging him to do it for about an hour a day. And then there's an app called Tiny Cards that goes along with Duolingo. And then you can kind of flashcard test him.
Cool. I never thought about that, actually.
It's actually pretty fun because like it'll like incorporate text messaging type conversations that'll allow you to interact using the words that you learned.
Dope.
In the
I think I'm
lesson.
going to try that.
Yo, this sounds like a sponsored ad. It's not.
Duolingo, if you do want to sponsor.
Yeah, tiny
Holla at
cards.
us.
Yeah, like holla at us. But anyway, that might be a way to incorporate that. But I digress. I do feel like I'm a little bit biased when addressing this situation
Okay.
because both of my grandmothers came from PR, didn't speak any English, and both of them speak English fluently. They do have very heavy accents. And I'm going to be real with you. My mom's mom, like my maternal grandmother, she can barely read and write in English, but she speaks it, right? My grandfather, who still lives in Puerto Rico, speaks English fluently enough to carry a conversation.
Well,
it's
part
a little
of their
broken.
curriculum now.
Yeah, but he's old as fuck. I
Yeah,
don't think
but-
he.
He's probably surrounded by it.
But my thing is, like, I have clients all the time that they're like, they've been living here for 20 some odd years or whatever. And we're talking about a man with children and grandchildren who've been here in the States, which means he's been here a long time. It's indicative of that. I don't understand the lack of willingness to learn the primary language in the land that you chose to live in. Like, that's crazy to me. I feel like if I were to relocate to another place to better my life, why not try to learn the language that is spoken mainly in that land? Like, that's mind-boggling to me. I do feel like there's incentive for the kids and the grandkids to learn Spanish, and that's more from maintaining the essence of the culture and passing that down to your kids, because once that culture is lost, it's kind of sad. But I don't feel like they should learn Spanish just to accommodate the person who made the decision to start a life here.
I don't think that they should learn Spanish just to accommodate the person that came to start their lives here. But I do think that they should learn Spanish to, I think it's important not to forget where you came from or where your ancestors came from, your culture is from. Like, I think it's important to not forget those things.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it was as easy as it is today for immigrants that came here that were just picking up jobs, trying to make ends meet and bring their family over, to just go and learn a different language.
Right.
I think it's more accessible now. So I can understand why he may not know English. I don't know that if it was a lack of effort. I think that perhaps there was other things that took priority.
Yeah, it's possible. I think that my issue with the meme was that my grandfather not being able to understand what everyone's talking about is the reason why we need to teach. No, we need to teach our kids Spanish or whatever language that's,
Second,
correlated
right.
with your heritage, for other reasons, but not only to appease the person that doesn't want to learn another language.
I can agree to that.
Yeah. Interesting. What you got over there?
I want to talk about something that we've addressed we've addressed often this past week.
Okay.
Do you think it's a good or bad thing for friends to have different preferences when it comes to looks on people? Because we've established that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, correct? We even spoke about that last week.
Yeah.
So, like, there's moments where, like, me and Rome will be discussing someone, and she will literally get mad at me and be like, girl, he's fine. Are you fucking crazy? And I'm like, no, he's cute. I'm not saying he's ugly. I'm just saying he's not as fine as you're making him seem to be, or vice versa. And, like, I wonder if avoiding that dialogue, basically saying, like, do you think that when friends have the same preference, it's an easier conversation? Oh, yes, girl, do this or do that. Or yes, girl. Like, do you think it's a good thing or it's a bad thing?
I think that,
because then if it was two same, we may go after the same guy.
yeah, but I think girl code then applies and overrides that.
Yeah, but then, like, what if we're both attracted to this person? You're like, I saw him first. I'd be like, bitch, you can have him.
We're not those girls.
Is it good or bad?
I think that it's good that we don't have the same type because we avoid those girl code conversations.
Facts.
I don't remember the last time we've had to have a girl code conversation, with the exception of someone I was kicking it with going into your DMs. But that was beyond our control.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with me.
Aside from that, Thank you for letting me know. You the true MVP.
Thanks.
Aside from that, I think that it avoids a lot of conflict, being that we do have different tastes. My only concern is that if I am feeling someone and you think they're butt ugly, let's say, for example, you were comparing them to skinny Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
And let's say I decide to get serious with this person.
Am I still gonna think that they look like skinny
And
Dave
you
Chappelle?
you keep like clowning my love interest and reminding me of how ugly you think they are. I'm probably going to be less compelled to bring them around, mention them.
I would never do that.
You are such a fucking liar.
No, if it became a thing, like let's say you were interested in someone that looked like skinny Dave Chappelle, right?
Yeah.
In the initial stages, yeah, I'm going to compare him to skinny Dave Chappelle. But once it becomes a thing and I see like, oh, my friend really likes this person, I'm not gonna just randomly call him skinny Dave Chappelle.
Yo, skinny Dave Chappelle.
Yo, diet Chappelle.
Variant Chappelle.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy. So to give you guys some context on how different our taste is, let's say, for example, there was someone who she thinks looks like skinny Dave Chappelle. Let's say, for example, in my eyes, this same person looks like the actor Mahershala Ali, the guy who plays Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
But then
He's
think
in
about it
Moonlight.
this way.
Same guy. He looks like Mahershala Ali, but he looks like skinny Dave Chappelle to you.
But then think of skinny Dave Chappelle and this actor that you're speaking of. They're kind of a variant of each other too.
No!
Yes. Yes.
No!
See, this is a prime example of how everyone can look at things and see completely different things, and that beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what's so interesting about that is that I'm so self-aware that with my body type and my weight, it's like I know that with one person I could be like hot shit, and to the next person someone can be like, oh, she might be a little too big for my taste, or she might be a little too this, or it might be a little too that. And that's why I stopped caring so much about what other people think about me. But by me not caring too much about what other people think about me, I also remove the expectation that people should think I'm hot shit.
Facts.
Like, I don't be rolling up on niggas like, yo, what the fuck you talking about, son? I'm bad as fuck, bitch. Like, don't try to play me. Like, I don't have those conversations because I'm like, I could very well be too fat for you. Like, you probably can't handle
you
this.
shouldn't be that way. However, I do feel like there's a line of being too cocky and confident, but you should always be confident.
But
like,
here's
you
the
should
thing.
definitely walk up to someone not acting like you're like that nigga or that bitch, but you should definitely walk up to someone like you have all the confidence in the world.
No, I feel confident in myself.
Right.
I know when I look in the mirror, I feel great. I feel like if I just so happen not to be your cup of tea, I feel like
That's
perhaps
fine.
you should expand your horizons, because you just never really know what's on the other side of that.
Correct.
I'm not saying you should fuck with me, but I'm just saying if you could get beyond the weight thing, you could probably, meet a really dope person.
You
but
might be out here blocking your blessings.
you might be out here blocking your blessings because you too worried about the number that's on the scale,
or the number in the jeans that she's wearing,
or the number of rolls I have on my back.
yeah,
Like,
all of that.
But either way, it's not to be taken personal, because that's a personal decision they make for themselves, and if it works for them, it works for them.
I
But
get that.
I feel fucking great. But it's interesting. It's just, I feel like this is very like grown woman shit.
Yeah, for sure, I agree.
Yeah, these conversations are becoming interesting, and I think now that we spend a lot more time together, being that we live together now and everything, and we go out a lot together, I feel like our differences are causing me to realize more within myself and my own thoughts about looks. And
But there are moments that we'll look at a specific person and feel like they have the same exact attractive feature.
yeah, so I think that there's some people out there that are so like aesthetically beautiful that it's undeniable. Like, regardless of what your taste is, like, no one can say this motherfucker's ugly.
Facts.
And if you're that fine,
I'm all over it.
why are you checking for me? Why?
I said I'm all over it, and you're like, why are you checking for me?
Don't check
Friends.
for me. Just go.
Friends.
Just go.
Don't be out here blocking your blessings.
I'm not. I'm just like, me?
Nah, see, you're like me, and I'm like, me.
Yeah.
See the difference there?
Yeah.
Got it.
That's fine.
What you
Okay, next topic. So, bro, I saw a meme that made me say Why is this a meme?
Okay.
And it says, if a woman gets pregnant and the man doesn't want the child, should he be financially responsible for the child he didn't want?
Yes, the answer is yes.
You fucking piece of shit. If you don't want kids, then you should have taken the measures necessary to avoid getting shorty pregnant, which the first option is abstinence. If you don't choose abstinence and decide to fuck, knowing the risk of pregnancy, even if you use a condom, if a condom breaks or something happens and she still gets pregnant, understand your role in a situation and handle your responsibilities as a man. This is a stupid fucking meme. Whoever put this fucking question together should go to hell. But what I am going to do is ask a question on the contrary.
Oh.
It inspired some thought.
Got it.
So, what if shorty gets pregnant, she doesn't want the kid, but he does? What's the right thing to do? I know the whole her body, her choice thing.
Her body, her choice is a very real thing to me. However, I'm also a strong believer that if the father has something to do, clearly the male has something to do with you getting pregnant, right?
Right.
The male wants this child. I think it's kind of fair for you to go through the whole process because it doesn't take just one person. So maybe you can explore other options like, okay, well, we can go through this. I'm not ready for a child. You were saying that you want this child. You can raise the child.
Yeah. What if he wants full custody of the child?
I'll do visit. And like, you never know, like maybe something will change by her going through the process of pregnancy, actually delivering the baby. Perhaps her perception may change, but ultimately I think it's fair for you to explore the option of letting the father have the child that he so wants.
I do feel there are more men out there that if there's a unplanned pregnancy that they want to have that child even if mom doesn't want it, and they feel like they have no rights, and that makes me a little sad.
Yeah, for sure. I agree,
because there's women out here that want to keep their babies, and then baby daddy will be like, no, I don't want a kid, and then she makes the decision to have it anyway. I get the my body, my choice, but the opportunity to become a parent, I mean, I don't know.
There's people out here that are struggling to have kids, period. So why would you take that away from someone who wants it?
That's exactly my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not to say that I have a definitive answer on what should be done here, but it's something to think about. And I think if I'm ever in this circumstance, hopefully I'm never in this circumstance, I would like to challenge myself to be fair to the father
person. Yeah, absolutely.
of my child. And if for some odd reason I'm like, I don't want it, but you do, like, I'll let you have main custody or full custody, but I'm not built that way. I'm the type of woman, like, whether I want this or not, this is my child, and I'm gonna woman up and
I made decisions.
I can't let anyone else raise my baby. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, you make the decisions to get to the position, and when you're in that you find yourself, I think that you kind of have to. Now, there are certain situations. It's not to take away from the fact that there are certain situations where it is the best outcome for some people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is, and
it would be better for the child if someone else were to raise them, because I know I cannot provide my child a safe environment, the financial stability.
Even if it's not someone else raising, like if you want to speak about like the whole abortion thing, like listen, your body, your choice, and there are certain situations that I'm speaking as far as that goes, that avenue goes, that listen, I'm a strong believer in like you make your bed, you lay in it.
Yeah.
But there are certain situations where that is the best outcome for some people.
I agree with that. And typically those are circumstances where people don't have day shit together, but they out here getting pregnant.
Word up.
That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, absolutely. Which brings up a good topic to segue into. As far as like men making the choice or the woman making the choice, as society plays it out, sometimes there are specific roles that they believe men and women have had or should have.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that, there is also a thin line of toxic masculinity, which I would I would interpret that as men saying women belong in the kitchen.
skirt work. That's skirt work.
You know
I don't
what I'm
wash the
saying?
dishes. That's skirt work.
Like, what do you mean? I'm not, or for women to say, I'm not taking the garbage out. That's your job.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a difference between playing your role and playing your position when it comes to relationships. I strongly believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But where do you think that line is as far as toxic masculinity and playing your specific position within a relationship or not a relationship?
I feel like the line lies in the communication and the reasoning behind why you would rather not do certain tasks. If you're saying the reason why I don't clean toilets is because I genuinely feel that that's a woman's job, then that's where it's toxic masculinity. If you're like, I'd rather not clean toilets because it disgusts me and I never really, that was something my mother always did. I never really did that growing up. How about you clean the toilets and that's something you're used to, and in exchange, I'll do something
dishes
that you're not comfortable doing, like taking out the trash. Then in that dynamic, we have the same result, but it's the reasoning and the communication behind it isn't rooted in a gender
Role,
a gender biased, perspective. You know what I mean? So I feel that it's the why behind the decision. And if you tell me you don't want to do something because you're a man and it's like, that's kind of stupid, I think it speaks a lot to your character, and it could be a big turnoff, which I know that's not the reason you're bringing this up. But I think these are very important conversations to have as relationships evolve, because it'll tell you a lot about a person's character.
Yeah, but not even just that. Like, I also bring it up because I feel that on both sides of the fence, the line is a little blurred, where people are saying, oh, well, I'm not going to do that just because we're together. Like, that's toxic masculinity. There is some times where you have to, like, I'm pretty Spanish old school. Like, if I'm in a relationship, I have to always make sure that my significant other is fed, like they ate. And some people may consider that as like, oh, he always expects you to feed him. That's toxic masculinity. No, it's embedded within me as who I am, that I need to make sure that my significant other has ate today, that they're taken care of to a certain degree. Am I going to go above and beyond because he expects that of me? No, but it is something that I'm choosing to do, and it's a role that I want to have.
I do feel that biologically, like, we're talking from a gender perspective,
yes,
that there are certain areas in which women are better at certain things typically, and men are better at certain things typically. Correct. Men, for example, tend to be stronger.
Oh no, I'm pretty strong.
You are very strong. But my thing is, like, if I get a flat tire on the side of the road, you could probably jack the car up a lot quicker than I can with a hand jack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what sense does it make for you to be sitting on the sidelines while I'm trying to jack up a car?
Facts.
When you're stronger and can probably do it more efficiently and quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that dynamic, and that's an extreme situation, but it's like, come on, like, a lot of these roles, if you take the skill set and apply it to the task at hand, let's just identify who's better at it. There's even relationships where the man's the better cook and the woman isn't.
The man's the better cleaner and the woman isn't.
Or not so much that it's like he enjoys the cooking, or he can do it more quickly, he could do it more efficiently, and she's like, man, I really suck at this. If that turns out to be the case, then it's like focusing more on who's better at it and who enjoys it.
That works for you. I agree to that.
Yeah, but I feel that, gender roles can get really, really blurred. I feel for me at this stage in my life, it's all about what works for me and my family and my household.
Right.
Which, speaking of, I do want to give a shout out to the both of us, which probably sounds really weird and self-centered.
Shout out to me and Rome.
Shout out to us. One of the things that I really, really enjoy now that we're living together is I feel that we're really good at splitting duties without having a conversation.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, explain further, because I'm like, I didn't even know you were going to talk about this.
We don't discuss like, okay, my role's going to be to wash the dishes. Your role's going to be to take out the trash. I'll take out the dogs in the morning. You'll take them out in the afternoon. Out, like, we don't have to outline it. We both are just people of like, who gives a fuck who does it?
Yeah.
let's just get this shit done.
Agreed.
And I think we have so much respect for one another. I'm not gonna pile up a sink full of dishes and sit here and ask you and expect for you to wash the dishes.
Correct. I agree.
It's like there might be moments where I might throw a dirty dish in the sink and I might not wash them tonight because I'm feeling some type of way. And then let's say tomorrow I'm ready to do the dishes. I'm not gonna just wash my dish and then not wash your dish.
Yeah, I hate that.
There's
honestly.
people that are like that.
I hate that. Like if I leave a dish in the sink and there's 2 cups there of yours that you've used, I'm never gonna sit here and just wash my cup and my dish and be like, oh, that's hers. I'm gonna wash the fucking dishes.
Yeah, we're both like very mature enough.
Yeah.
Like, yo, if we're in the mode to clean, like it's not a big deal. Now, I'm not gonna say any names, but I was in a relationship where when my partner got into the mode of cleaning the house, they would only clean their stuff.
Ew.
They would only clean whatever was theirs and would totally avoid touching anything of mine. Now, if it was from a perspective of I don't know what to do with this, well, you're with me long enough to kind of learn what I do
Or
and how I
ask.
do with certain things. But I just feel that shit's kind of whack. So it's very refreshing to be in a situation where I'm like,
This is easy.
yeah, like we're just,
Do you feel like that comes from a nature of just being considerate people? Like, for example, if I think what I've noticed is like if I'm cooking, you'll attack the dishes before I get more dishes in there, or vice versa. If I see that you're about to throw down with something, I'm gonna wash the dishes that are there so that you don't have any more dishes.
or if I see you're about to do the dishes, I'll put away the dishes from before to
Exactly.
make your dishwashing experience a lot
little
easier. So I just think it's something that comes along with being a real nigga. Like we real ass niggas.
We real ass bitches out here.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Stop the petty bullshit. It's 2019.
We're getting older, and not for nothing. I think that also comes from a way of like learning that like your household functions better when you do things that just make sense.
And the thing is that whether you're here or not, I understand the workload may be a little bit more because there's more people in this household versus if I were here by myself.
Correct.
Or if it were just you and your son.
Correct.
However, it's like if I should be conducting these tasks anyway, even if I were by myself. So why does shit have to get weird now that there's, a couple of extra people?
Which, by the way, the fact that there is a couple extra people, I would say this house stays really clean for there to be 3 bodies in this household.
I mean, we stay on top of it.
Yeah.
We don't let shit like pile up.
Like I literally just thought about that.
That's what motivated this whole thing. I'm like, yo, we're doing really, really good, and we don't have conversations on who does what. We just do.
I agree to that. Go us.
Go us.
We're the real MVP.
We are the real MVPs of 2019.
All right, I have another thing.
Okay.
This actually is a question that I think a lot of girls talk about, especially when they are maybe in their early 20s, late teenage, early 20s.
Okay.
A lot of girls tend to be a little catty, therefore that's why they stray away from hanging out with other girls. I think that you mentioned a few episodes into the podcast that you chose to not really have many girlfriends
When I was younger.
when you were younger because of the fact that you felt like there was a lot of drama there, whatever. As someone now in your 30s, do you have that same thought, or do you prefer to hang out with guys over girls, girls over guys? Like, is there a preference for you? And if so, why?
I don't have a preference. Here's my preference. My preference is or are low maintenance relationships, whether you're a male or a female. Sorry, but guys are better about having low maintenance friendships.
Yeah, because they're kind of just go with the flow type people.
Women are hit or miss. You're going to have women that are just like one of the homies. You never have any drama or issues with them. And then you have other women that are just like, whoa,
Right.
you're making big deals out of nothing. You always got some drama. Every time I talk to you, there's some fuck shit going on. I'm giving you the same routine advice over and over about like rudimentary shit. Is that the right word? Elementary shit. No, rudimentary is when you routinely do something. Elementary type shit. Like, you're a woman of a particular age and stage in life. We've been having the same conversation for the past 10 years. I'm tired.
Right.
You're like, I think we should be here to coach each other, but as we grow older, we should be having new issues that just come with growing older. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just feel as women, sometimes we tend to complicate things. Unfortunately, there are men out there that complicate things as well. So
I think it could be both ways.
Yeah, I feel like it's not a man versus woman thing. I just want simplicity. I want simple, effortless relationships. So much so that if we do have a problem, neither one of us have an issue discussing the topic at hand, and then we could go grab some pizza afterward, and everything's fine.
I feel like you and I have that relationship.
Absolutely.
I feel like we can have a moment where we're like disagreeing and be like, no bitch, and you be like, no bitch, and then be like, so we gonna get this pizza or what?
Yeah,
I agree to that. But also I do want to say, like, I do enjoy the simplicity of hanging out with guys. It's just fun, and there's nobody expecting absolutely anything as far as like a routine, where girls are a little bit differently. But I do also feel that I can be a certain type of way with my close girlfriends that I wouldn't be in front of guys.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish that I had more relationships like this here's the thing. We have girlfriends that we're really cool with, but I think that we're so busy in our individual lives with our families and all the things that we do that we don't get to spend as much time together.
100%.
But there are some perks of having close girlfriends.
Absolutely.
Raiding each other's closets, all those things. These are things I don't currently do, but that I would like to do.
I currently raid her closet all the time. I just came up.
Raid yours.
I literally soon.
For obvious reasons.
Soon, friends. Soon. I literally got 3 new outfits for my New York trip just from looking in her closet.
Or can I borrow your setting spray? Do you have an extra pair of lashes?
Yes.
Like all those cute little things. It's like, those are the benefits of having close girlfriends. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, we should be here to empower each other more and support each other, and to be like, yo, we can lean on each other and don't necessarily have to rely on a man to kind of help us with our shit. Like, something about that's empowering. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know.
You are more of a guy's girl because of that simplicity that you speak of liking. I do think that you're still learning to, when it comes to me and you, I think it's completely different, but I think that you're still learning to kind of be okay with certain things that come along with a female.
I will tell you this. The moment that I sense another woman has a problem with me for an unjustified reason, I am immediately turned off.
Yeah.
I lose all respect for that woman, and I'm just like, you're a fucking dumbass. I don't have the patience for that. I'm not here to raise grown adults.
Yeah.
I refuse to do it. I'm fucking sick of it. It's stupid.
I get it.
I was going to say something else down, but another reason why I think that I'm more drawn to having male friends is that whole thing we talked about last episode with the 70-30 thing with the sense of humor. I feel like it's hard to come across other women that have sense of humor. It's easy for me to find other women that laugh at my jokes, but I don't want to feel like a performance monkey every time I'm with my friends. I want someone that comes with the heat too. Currently, you're the only friend I have that can make me pee my pants.
Do you know what's crazy about that, though? I feel like I'm that friend to a lot of people that I'm friends with.
Don't you feel like a performance monkey sometimes?
Sometimes, but you know that thing that they say about people who are very comedic, like, they tend to I'm trying to think of the correct word, but I can't think of it right now. It's kind of like you project all of like the funny to the outside people so that way they feel good about their moment, even though you're maybe struggling with something on the inside. Like, comedians do that a lot, and entertainers. Like, I feel like that's how I am. Like, if I'm going through something internally, to deflect that feeling and kind of distract myself from it, allowing people to be entertained around me and laugh makes me feel good.
I do that a lot. I think last year and the year prior were very hard years for me. They were hell. And I
probably
think
explains why you got funnier.
Yeah, because it's like I had to make a conscious decision every day to be happy, and I had to do that by finding reasons to smile, finding reasons to laugh or whatever, and it's been great. It's been working out for me. But I don't know. I just feel like when you and I get into our riffs and we're both making each other laugh, like, that it's so much more fun when someone can like throw it back at you.
It's like you're hyping the joke up to another level so that then I can try and top that.
It's like I'm not just doing the job of entertaining everyone, but someone's entertaining me at the same time. And it feels great.
It does feel good.
It's hard to find that in other women, unfortunately.
Like, for example, today I literally felt like I had abs because you were telling a story about I'm gonna pee my pants right now.
Don't do it.
Wow,
that's Theo talking.
You were talking about how sometimes when you're younger or even older, some people get really bad buildup of wax in their ear. And guys, she is so like serious stone face, like very like
Yo,
a matter of fact. All of these
let me
things.
reel this in really, really quick.
Okay.
We had someone over here and we were talking about a concern of a clogged ear.
Right.
Okay. And it's like to the point, I don't know if it's ever happened to you guys where you get like a buildup of wax to the point where you can't clearly hear through your ear. And I was telling them the story of how that's happened to me before as a kid and how I had to go to the doctors to get that cleared up and what that whole experience was like.
Right. And then again, she's super serious telling us about her experience as far as what happened and how they had to remove the buildup in her ear. So for some reason, this bitch decides to say, yeah, and you know, it's really crazy because you can definitely get a whole buildup of that shit in your anal cavity.
Yo.
And she proceeded to tell a story. And like me and my other friend look at each other and we were like, shout out to you, Mo. Mo was the one that was over here. And we were like, yo, did this bitch just say anal cavity? And she acted like she didn't even say it.
Okay, so what I wanted to say was ear canal.
Anal cavity.
I said anal cavity instead. And I'm like, I felt like it left my mouth wrong. But I think I had that moment in my head like, did I say that wrong? And Mo, it feels right.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
It feels right.
And then Mo looks at her and she's like, anal cavity?
Yeah, I meant ear canal. I think I couldn't get ear canal to pop in my head for me to realize that I said it wrong. But man, that was funny.
That was great.
That was really funny. Speaking of anal cavities, let's talk about assholes.
All right.
So
I hope that this is the same topic that I have, because if it's that asshole, then it is good.
So I want to talk about people who are assholes. So, you know, for those of you who have been consistently listening, earlier in November, my grandmother broke her shoulder like really, really bad. Like the entire thing that goes in your shoulder socket has shattered. She has a piece of metal in her shoulder and she's currently in a rehab facility. So, she's in a rehab facility in which I thought only had one roommate, but apparently she had two. And I guess they had to move her room. And I find out when someone sent me her new phone number and they were like, oh, she had to move rooms. And I'm like, why? I call and I find out that my grandmother had to switch rooms because the other two people in her room has issues with Puerto Rican people. Now, some of y'all heard the episode where I went ham on some old ass vampire lady at a Mexican flea market.
Bitch, you almost went ham on a fucking lady across the street the other day.
I almost went ham on a lady who almost hit me the other day because I thought she was talking that shit from her car. She almost hit me. So I had to step out into the street.
Step out? Bitch, you jumped out the car. You threw that bitch in park, jumped out the car, and started walking in her direction.
While I was still in traffic.
Yeah.
I am the type of person that if I'm upset, I don't think, I just do. That's how we keep this house clean. I don't think, I just do.
Yeah.
So, it really, really bothers me that my grandma's in her 70s and she can't just be in a rehab facility without dealing with petty, stupid nonsense. And I'm very glad that I don't arrive to Buffalo, New York until the 19th of January, because between now and then, I'm hoping I will gain enough sense that I won't feel the need to tell some very old person about themselves, which I'm not going to do. I trust and believe that I'm not going to fuck up an old person when I'm up there, but I'd be lying. I'd be lying if I were to tell you that if that were to happen in my presence, I would feel compelled to at least say something. Like, it's so weird. Like, when your grandparents get old, it's like you want to be nurturing to them, kind of like they're your kid.
Right.
You want to defend them because you feel like they can't defend themselves.
But I mean, not to excuse the behavior, because there is no excuse for that behavior. But you have to think of the age group and what existed during that time and what is embedded in them, and not saying that it's the right thing, because it's definitely not.
Yeah.
But it's a more natural feeling for those individuals.
It hurts me because my grandmother is the most accepting, loving person that I have in my like immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
She, like, I look at her and how happy she is, and I admire her so much for her attitude and the way that she embraces people, and just to see that she's treated that way really, really upsets me. So that kind of, inspires some thought in terms of how do we get to the bottom of social issues, right? Right is right and wrong is wrong. Like, these are very simple concepts. So I just want to say this again. I think I've said it on past podcasts. I feel that the right people need to start calling out the wrong people. Meaning, let's say if you're dealing with a racist white person, I think that the unracist, I don't know if that's a word, or non-racist white people should start calling out racist white people. And I know there's white people out there doing it, but we need more of that, because when I do it, it makes me look like I'm complaining like a little bitch. And then it's like, oh, you're so defensive, blah, 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 blah. We need to start calling out our own kind. We even have our own kind that are denying their African roots. We have our own kind that's being racist towards other races as well. And I think that we should call that out. People say reverse racism doesn't exist or whatever, but I believe that it does. I feel like we need to start calling people out in our own groups.
Yeah.
Whether it's classism, racism, whatever the case is, right? The R.Kelly thing came out recently. A lot of people are talking about it. I don't even know if I want to get into it.
I definitely,
you have it as a topic?
Well, I wanted to relate what you're saying to that as well.
Yeah. So my thing is, like, we were having a side conversation a few days ago where I'm like, men need to start calling out other men that are doing fuck shit.
Yes.
When it's women crying from the mountain top, I've been raped, I've been molested, I've been this, I've been that. Even if the next man doesn't know for sure whether or not that act has taken place, we need more men standing up for women's rights instead of women just standing up for women's rights. Because when we do it, it comes off as defensiveness, versus when we get other men doing it, it's just standing up for what's right, and it's received differently, and I just want to see more of that. Also, we need more Black men protecting Black women. I love that I'm starting to see this more on social media, but this is something that needs to continue to grow. I mean, I'm so sick of everyone trying to cry out against issues in a defensive manner, and it's falling on deaf ears. So we need to start reallocating the orators of these issues.
Well, I don't think that, like, I don't want to just leave it as just a race thing. Like, you are 100% with everything you're saying, but I think that men should be sticking up for women, period. And in the stage in which we find ourselves, yes, I think that Black men should be sticking up for Black women because of everything that's going on, as far as, like,
because not only is she a woman, but also she's a Black woman,
which makes her a minority in all types of forms,
which means Black women don't have the same issues that white women do. Correct. They do have some shared issues, correct, but there are other additional issues.
I understand why it's like the topic of conversation at the moment with everything that's happening, but I feel like as men it should be the natural right thing to do, that if you see white, Black, Hispanic, whatever it is, a man beating on her in the middle of the street, that you will try at least to stop that from happening.
Yeah, some
people are just standing by and watching.
Yeah, that's whack.
It's lame. And like I told you, shout out to Megan McGlover, because I saw her say this. She was like, yo, if a guy puts his hands on me and homie, you just stand there and not do anything. She was like, I don't give a fuck that I go to gym and lift these weights. I don't give a fuck if in your mind you feel like I could lift 400 pounds. If you allow another man to put his hands on me, and you don't do anything, like, I'm a handle homeboy, and then when I'm done handling him, I'm gonna handle your ass. Facts.
Like, I
just seen a video of a couple that were waiting at a bus stop. black man, black female, and another black man approached her while and is arguing with her. Her man is just sitting there. First off, you're not coming up to my significant other and yelling in their face. Right. That's just not gonna happen. But he literally sat there, watched him argue with her. And now I have a problem with this. I have a problem when I'm sitting down and someone is standing up in front of me arguing with me, because I already feel some type of way.
Yeah, if they decide to pop off, you're at a disadvantage.
Exactly. I already feel some type of way. So let me stand up and at least approach me that way. But anyways, so they were sitting down. The guy was standing up. He literally walked up to her talking shit. And my nigga, he slapped the fuck out of her twice, to the point where shorty got up and started swinging on him. And the man was just sitting there not doing nothing, to the point where his boys was like, yo, you ain't gonna do nothing. They had to literally force him up out of his seat and push him towards the dude. Like, I don't understand this way of thinking right now. I can't fuck with someone.
Well, what about the whole mind your business dynamic?
That's his girl.
Yeah, nah.
That was his lady.
It better not be no more.
And okay, mind your business, but that goes to kind of like go back to what you're saying.
In this circumstance where it's your girl, like, you should always defend your girl. But I feel like the man versus woman thing, like if a man sees another woman being berated by a man, I feel like the only thing that can make a man like not want to jump in is like, okay, I need to mind my business. This has nothing to do with me. But at the same time, I don't know. I think everyone needs to use their best judgment.
Listen, you can use your best judgment, but this is to go back from what you originally said. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Nobody's saying, I'm not saying that if you see that happening, that you're automatically supposed to go in there and put the paws on homie, because I'm not saying that, but there's definitely things that you can do to de-escalate the situation. Push homie aside, say, hey, listen, I'm gonna call the cops, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, because some homies be out here doing too much, looking for an opportunity to show off and be a hero.
You don't have to do all that,
but which if it's done right, like, that could be really sexy.
Yeah, but absolutely.
Sometimes they magnify the issue more than it is because they're trying so hard to be a hero, and then everybody ends up getting hurt.
It's just
everyone needs to use their best judgment.
Yeah, right is right. So if you would feel like intervening in that type of situation is not the best fit for you or the situation, there's definitely different avenues that you can take to make the situation a better situation.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But that's also about like the whole R.Kelly thing. I can tie it into this. Is like, you're saying for everyone to call out everyone, even if it's within your own group. I think it's important to kind of have these, like, it's kind of touchy, because I hear a lot of things back and forth. I hear people saying like, oh, if they would have been white little girls, then Kelly would have been locked up already. We wouldn't have excused it so much. Mm-hmm. Then I have other people that I'm seeing saying like, oh, they're trying to tear us apart. Don't let him fool you. This is how they separate us within the group and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, it's a lot of ignorance all the way around.
Okay, let's be real. Let's take it away from sexual assault. Mm-hmm. Let's take it away from R.Kelly. Mm-hmm. Let's just talk about missing person reports.
Okay.
Whether they're children, adults, whatever. What more do we see of on the news?
As far as?
Like in terms of race.
Oh, black people.
No, but you see more black people missing on the news reported?
No. If they're speaking about little white girls gone missing, it's usually they're tying it to a black person.
No, what I'm saying is that tons of children and adults go missing every day. Oh, you see, like, what they
expose more of? Yeah, white children.
You're going to see more white children. You're going to see more white females that go missing, because let's be real, men go missing too.
Yeah, that's true too.
But the reason why we don't tie that into the thought process is because it doesn't get publicized as much. Mm-hmm. We're seeing white women. We're seeing white children. That's starting to shift a little bit more, because I think news corporations, as they're seeing feedback on social media, they're like, yo, we got to start mixing up these stories so we're not viewed as a racist network. Mm-hmm. But coming up, especially in our age group, it was always the white people that got the whole Nancy Grace fucking CNN hot story. And it's just like, it's unfortunately the value of a white life.
It's portrayed that it's valued more than that of a minority.
And I think that's what it comes down to. And I don't think it's anyone trying to pit down anyone. It's just historical fact based off behaviors
Their lives
conducted by the authorities of reporting the news, and the authorities that have to enforce these laws.
Yeah, I can see that.
You have a white person walk into a police station and being taken more seriously than a black person walking into that same police station reporting a crime. Unfortunately, that has been reality. So if we assign that same concept to what's going on in the R.Kelly situation, there is truth to that, because we've had clues for years. Why the fuck did it take a Lifetime documentary for people to start speaking out? The shit's been in front of our face
forever,
for a long time. And that's what I'm so fucking sick of. I'm sick of people waiting for a documentary to call shit out. I appreciate that it's raising awareness, which is resulting in more people speaking out. But my thing is, like, if you are truly passionate about child molestation issues, then it should not have taken for a Lifetime thing. If the Lifetime thing inspired you to start speaking out on it, kudos to you. I applaud that. But being a woman who suffered from sexual abuse, I've always been passionate and always been encouraged and always wanted to talk about these issues to empower more women to talk about it, because the fact that we feel so ashamed and don't want to talk about it is the reason why a lot of men don't get the opportunity to protect us, because it's so fucking taboo and everyone thinks it's not happening because no one's fucking talking about it.
And not only just that, like it's such a thing in the, you know, in the minority community, I want to say, that these victims are told by people within their own family too, that the reason why this happened to them is because they were being too fast, or they were putting like, you're over here wearing these little what I wear or how I behave gives no one the permission to abuse me in any type of way.
Yeah, or like Uncle Scooby put his hands on me. You're over here thinking about the legacy of your brother over the protection of your child, and you're like, don't tell anybody about, I'll make sure he never does that to you again, but don't tell anybody about this. This is the family's dirty secret.
Or if it is a family secret, what is really told as well is like, well, you know, Uncle Scooby's like that. Why'd you go around him by yourself?
Yeah.
What you mean?
Yeah, like these are serious fucking issues. So I'm glad that it's becoming a conversation. I would be lying though if I wasn't a little perturbed by the fact that it's taking for Lifetime to do a documentary for the masses to talk about it. Being that I acknowledge that it takes for documentaries like these to get people talking, let's talk about low carb for a minute. It took for What the Health documentaries. It took for zeitgeist, conspiracy theorists, for people to start thinking for themselves when it comes to political matters. Documentaries play a huge role in shifting the way that the masses think, right?
Agreed. Media, period.
Facebook has created the platform where people feel comfortable expressing their opinions based on what they viewed, and it's stimulating conversation, right?
Which is good.
And it's good. And I don't want to take the focus too much off of the R. Kelly thing, but the R. Kelly thing is one of many fucking issues that are going on in the world, and I don't feel that I don't feel the R. Kelly thing deserves the level of attention that it's getting when there's when there are young ladies in your backyards getting raped today.
So basically what you're saying is, yes, this is important. It's important for us to pay attention to all of these things that are happening that have been in our face for a long time, but be aware that there is stuff happening to people that live, little girls next door to you,
that live in your home,
and that you may have some sort of inclination and you're just kind of going about your day.
So what I don't want you doing is, let's say that R. Kelly does get locked up behind bars. The conversation stops.
No, that's not where it should stop.
It shouldn't, but I'm saying that's what happens.
Right.
And that's the bullshit. Like,
that's the out of sight, out of mind complex
and
thing.
I feel like that's where you're not a real nigga. Because if you're a real nigga that gives a fuck about molestation issues, you would be looking to make changes within your own communities.
ASAP.
And that's where I'm fucking annoyed by this shit. So again, I applaud that it's being called to attention, but don't be new to this. Be true to this shit.
And don't live on the hype of where like it's this trend that you're riding where it's like, oh, everybody's talking about it on social media, let me give it my 2 cents. And what you're saying is don't forget about it once that wave is gone.
Yeah, like I'm not 100% mad at this. Here's what I take away from this. This empowers. If I'm going to say I need to not be new to this, I need to be true to this. Should I find avenues to discuss this stuff more? Absolutely. But here's the challenge I will make for myself. I will challenge myself to do this before the end of 2019. I challenge myself as a producer and a content creator to create something that's going to continue the conversation about sexual abuse that's happening against children, and also that's happening against women of color.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You know what I mean? So the same way that I'm bitching about people being frauds, like there's more I could be doing as well. So everybody just needs to challenge themselves, myself included.
Yeah. Good job.
And fuck R.Kelly. I hope that nigga gets locked up.
I hope somebody pisses on him while he's in jail. Actually, he may like that.
Ooh.
So, just saying.
You got anything else?
Mm-mm.
Well, listen, y'all. This was a very like bomb episode of CO in Rome.
Very educational in a sense, as far as like all conversations and topics that were held.
It probably wasn't as goofy or comedic, but I think
what?
that's
We have
between the sugar, spice, and bullets, this falls in the bullets category.
Yeah.
You know what?
A little spice.
What if at the end of every episode we're like, is this sugar, spice, and bullets? And then we like...
That's actually season 7. What was this more of? This was more sugar, which is more of a comedic approach. This was spicy, which is like racy, sex talk, blah, 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 blah. Bullets, bat, you get nothing but facts.
Fuck R.Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Piss on somebody named R.Kelly, please.
Yeah. So we want to thank you guys for rocking with us, despite the tone, despite the outcome of these episodes. Because the thing is that being that you and I don't share our notes with each other, we don't really know going into the episode how it's going to play out.
We segue very well, though.
And we don't write our jokes. We off the cuff. You know what I'm saying?
Off the dome.
So we love you guys. Stay tuned for another episode next week. And we look forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye.